Welcome back, everyone. I'm Celia, creator of Let's Talk Terror, and I'm back again with my good friend and final girl baddie, Sarah Nicklin. And today we're diving into her newest role in Shudder's VHS Halloween, the newest installment of one of my favorite anthology series. So sit back and enjoy. You won't want to miss it. Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming back to talk to me. We're talking about VHS Halloween. I've been waiting. I've been waiting to talk about this
Oh,
because
yay.
I saw it a few weeks ago and my mind is blown. I love it so much. Now, I've always been a fan of the VHS series,
Hmm.
but I will say there is some along the way that I've completely forgotten segments. Like
Yeah.
before this, I went onto Wikipedia and I was going through all of them and I'm like, I don't remember this one. I don't remember that segment. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. But I feel like VHS Halloween, I'm going to remember every single part of this. And maybe a little bit of that is recency bias, but it's also just a really fun. Oh my God, I'm so glad this is out. Or
Me
it's about to be
too.
out. By the
Yeah,
time this video comes out, it will be out.
it will
So,
be out. Yeah, exactly. No, I know. Like it's a really fun like collection of all like the different shorts. I feel like they have a little bit of something for everyone, which each with each of the segments, and they did a good job of like with the tone. It's like there's
yes.
some funny ones, and then there's some serious ones, and then funny ones, and so like there's a nice like flow through
Yes,
the entire film with that.
definitely.
And
And
that's exactly what people have been saying that they really just really like this like this one in the franchise like quite a bit. So
oh my gosh, I'm just wondering how they're going to top this.
I
Because it's
know.
going to
Oh
be
my goodness.
hard. It's going to be so hard.
They keep getting better. I feel like every installation they do is just topping, the previous
I know. The
ones.
last few, I'm like, wow, this is great. And then they keep getting better.
Yeah.
I love every
The
bit of
the
it.
airplane one and the last one and beyond,
Yes.
the skydiving. Nuts.
All right. So VHS Halloween. Now, Sarah, you have been, as we've talked about previously, you've been part of so many indie horror movies. And I want to know what was it like stepping into this iconic franchise? How was that experience for you?
Oh, it was awesome.
I bet.
No, it was like it was really wonderful to be able to be a part of something that's already such an established and beloved IP. And so when I first got it, I was ecstatic. And I think, my friends that I like secretly was, don't tell anyone, but guess what?
Yeah.
We're also like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome. But it also comes with a lot of pressure, I feel like, too. Like, you really want to make sure, really wanted to make sure that I did like extra good job and to just really like uphold the level that people have come to expect, from these films.
Yeah. What do you think sets this VHS apart from the other ones? Because for me, obviously, is that this one is completely entirely Halloween. Now,
Yeah.
like there have been segments from other past VHSs that obviously were Halloween, but this entire one is Halloween, and I love that. So, was there anything else besides that that set this one apart from the rest?
I think it's also uh, there are ones in this that are so ambitious. I mean, I think especially our segment, like next level. Like, how the hell did they pull all of that off? Because everyone has the same budget, the same amount of time, the same everything.
I
So it's
didn't know that.
it's
Okay.
equal for all filmmakers, which it's a fair way to do it.
Right.
So it's whatever they can pull off with those resources. And yeah, I think our segment especially is just like, oh my God, I can't believe how much they absolutely packed into this. Kind of like the airplane segment in
Right.
Beyond. So I do think that that is one aspect to it that makes it different, is that it's just the next level topping. Um, and then, like I said earlier, I think the tone. I think it's like one of the most fun VHSs, like
It is
like
fun.
all the way through, which I think really captures the spirit of Halloween. Because here, Halloween, yes, is scary and supposed to be scary, but we love it because we have fun with it. You know, we enjoy the scare. We enjoy giving candy to kids or trick or treating, and we enjoy decorating. And so I think that yeah, this installation really captures, that vibe completely.
And you know what's funny is that I think that even translates into the audience because before I do these interviews, I go on to Canva and I already know what questions I'm gonna ask. So I try to find little snippet segues to
Mhm.
go from one segment of my questions to another segment. And I was having fun doing that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be awesome. It's like I'm in the movie myself. So I
Exactly.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the other VHSs to get ready for your role?
Not necessarily to get ready for my role. I did go through because I had missed and still have missed, some of them. So I saw the first one when it came out, and I, very distinctly remember the one with the in the hotel room with, the girl that turns into this,
Yes.
and that, blew my mind. And then I had seen Beyond also, and then I'd see the second one, and I remember that cult episode being like so fucking
Oh yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
But there were a lot in the middle there that I had missed. So I was starting to try to go through just to like get a feel, for what's been done before, what are we building off of. But also at the same time, I think each of the segments are such standalones, that you don't really have to know what has come before in order to jump right into it, because it's its own story, it's its own world,
Right.
its own creation.
So before we talk about your segment, Home Haunt, I want to know if you had to survive any of the segments in VHS Halloween, which one would you least likely survive? Which one do you absolutely not want to be in?
Um,
And for those
oh,
listening, if you haven't seen it, we have Diet Phantasma, we have Coochie Coochie Coo, we have Utsupra Seek Infra, we have Fun Size, Kid Print, and Home Hunt.
yes. I think okay, that's a tough one because
If you want, we can go through all of
I'm
them. You can
torn.
say whatever you want about them.
I'm torn between two for that specifically. I'm torn between fun size because I don't think I want to get cut up and hacked up and
Yeah,
turned into candy, and that was like terrifying. And also Coochie Coochie Coo, that monster
I
was
know.
so
I know.
gross and terrifying. So I think specifically those two, I think would be the worst ways to die with those other two Eggmans. I mean, Kid Print is also really disturbing, but in that one, he's really only killing kids. So since I'm
Right,
adult, I
right.
feel
So
like
it's like we would be
I'd be kind
fine.
of I'd be fine in that one. I'd be kind of safe. Or
Okay.
Diet Phantasma with the tent, like the bomb. I don't know.
But
That's
see,
tough too.
all you have to do is just not be a test subject. But then again, like how would
Yeah,
you know until you actually got there?
right. Just
Yeah,
don't drink the soda.
yeah. Just don't drink it. I mean, why would you drink it? Everyone was saying it smelled bad. So why would you
Exactly.
drink this? Home Hunt. You are Nancy, the mom,
Hmm.
and I think Home Hunt was a really good closer because
Yeah.
it felt so nostalgic. I've never been to a home haunt in real life, but this felt like I have somehow, and it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that feels like, what that's like.
Yeah.
I have a question on how this works. So when you audition, do you audition for VHS Halloween as a whole, or do you audition for a segment within VHS Halloween?
So you audition for a segment within
Okay.
VHS Halloween. So the on the back end, like on the production side, they handle each one as if they are their own movie.
Okay.
And so they're shot in sequence, and they don't start really allocating resources very much to the next sequence or segment until they've finished that with the previous segment.
Right.
So for me, for Home Haunt, so I've been longtime friends and fans of RH and Micheline, and they did a short film Grummy that is absolutely amazing. Everyone should check it out. And I've been really wanting to work with them for a while. And so they got VHS Halloween, and then they had a segment where there was an opportunity to maybe put me into a role. And I was ecstatic about that. And so they told casting we want Sarah for this,
Oh, that's
which I think
nice.
is it. I mean, that just says everything about like who they are as people, just
Yeah.
really just kind, awesome, generous, loyal people, and the fact that it actually ended up happening because it doesn't always work that way, you know? Sometimes people don't have the amount of control they thought they would, or
Mhm.
producers want to put someone specific in it, or for like investors, or whatever other reason. And it also speaks a lot about the producers of VHS that they really trust the directors that they've chosen to do what they
Right.
want. Um, so it did work out that way, and that's how I got cast as Nancy, is because they wanted me. But I actually did audition for a different role in a different segment that I did book. Um, Outside of that, and that was one that shot earlier. And so when I first auditioned for that, I didn't know that it was VHS Halloween. It didn't
Mhm.
say it on the casting notice when I first auditioned. And so when I booked that, I was like, "Oh, uh-oh, wait a second. I don't know if I can do two. I'm pretty sure I can't be in two of them." And obviously, I really wanted to play Nancy because it's a
Yeah.
really cool character, and I wanted to work with Micheline and RH, and like, so I had to decline the other role, even though I had not yet officially been offered Nancy yet, which was scary because
Yeah.
there's no guarantees in anything ever. But because of exactly what you were asking about with how they work and doing like each segment totally separately, they weren't even going to give the offer of Nancy to me until they started casting that entire thing. So I had to just like go piece by piece.
Okay. So I was gonna ask what drew you to audition for that section, but kind of already went over that. What
Yeah.
what made you want to audition for the other segment? You don't have to say which one. It doesn't really matter, but was there something specific that you were like, oh, this sounds like a role that I would
I
enjoy
mean,
doing?
honestly, a lot of times, like auditions come in, and especially now that everything is, self-tape, there's a lot more auditions that I'm getting than I used to get before that. So like, and now that I have someone representing me for like commercials too, so like I'll get a bunch of auditions, and so I don't, unless it's something that's like a really good meaty role that's really theatrical, I'm not spending a huge amount of time researching like the
Mhm.
filmmakers or who they are. I'm just like, I got an audition, I got to do my work, I got to get through it, I got to, turn it around. So when that role came through, I was like, oh, this is like a cool horror thing. Like I like horror, and great. Okay, yeah, let me just, do the audition. And without looking up, the director and
Right.
the casting director or anything like that. If I had done more research, I probably would have been like, oh, um, but like because I feel like there's usually a pretty not even a super quick turnaround, but just because of the volume of auditions at this point, especially with the like commercial stuff, I just try to do the best work that I can, focus on the audition, turn it around, and get it out. And I also kind of have the mentality of, even if I don't love this role or I don't feel like I'm great for this role, it's still an opportunity to be seen.
Right.
So, I'll do an audition, and then if they want me, then I'll read the script. Then I'll like really look at the character and be like, okay, do I really want to do this? Because that's, if you're chosen for something, like that's a good marker. That's a good opportunity, even if you end up later, maybe you booked something in between and you're no longer
Right.
available, like things happen. So I try as much as I can to audition for everything.
Do you have any personal experience with home haunts? Maybe not experience, but like any have you ever been to home haunts?
Yeah, I've been to a bunch of home haunts. And I mean of like various levels,
Yeah.
I guess too. Like when I was little, there was this like haunted house that came up and like it set up in the mall and it was
Not the mall.
terrifying. Oh my God. I'm sure now as an adult I'd be like, what? No, but as a
Yeah.
kid, terrifying. There were these witches in these cages and they were like reaching their arms out and I'm hiding behind my mom. Like um but especially being here in Southern California, there's a lot of home haunts that are next level.
I'm
Like
sure I've seen some documentaries about home
yes.
haunts and they're like all in California and I'm like, man,
Yes.
I gotta give me some of that.
Exactly. I mean, there are people here that they'll, do a build for their home haunt that lasts like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they open it up for a couple of weekends before Halloween. And some of them are maze like walkthroughs. Others are just things that you like beautiful displays that you go look at. So I've been to a bunch of those around here. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do, like leading up to Halloween, aside from all of the like commercial
Right.
haunted house stuff. But then we also do kind of like a little, it's not a home haunt, but we do a nice little yard display with all of our foam carved pumpkins and like creature monsters and stuff. So we got a little thing going on. Not to the level of any of those other guys though.
Oh, well, that's fun. I love that. I mean, like I said, I've never been to a home haunt. I've definitely been to like professional ones.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. The where I currently am in Missouri, that's not it's not really a thing, but perhaps one day when we are no longer living here,
Yeah.
and that might
And
be
I
something.
mean,
Who
home
knows?
hunters they get really creative,
Yeah,
sometimes more so even than the big like professional things. And there's a home haunter that I used as one of the like to base Nancy off of. I think they're called like Haunted Hollywood or something like that. It's a husband and a wife and their kid, and they have a YouTube channel about how they build all the things for their home haunt, and they're so like quirky, and it's the exact type of relationship that Micheline and RH said that they wanted for our family to have. And so like I watched a bunch of their videos
oh, that's
just to get
funny.
like fun inspiration.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Speaking about that, in Home Hunt, we see that segment really blends family dynamics and also supernatural dynamics.
Mhm.
Was there anything that was really fun about that or anything really challenging trying to make those two things work?
I think one of the more interesting parts about like my character and in those family dynamics is that before we get into the haunt, I'm like the the 80s mom, the
Yes.
typical, nurturing peacekeeper trying to bridge the gap between my husband and angsty teenage son. And then once things turn and the maze starts to come to life, then I become like the protector and the monster fighter. And I thought that was a really unique uh, I don't know, challenge, but aspect to kind of bring to that character. Because so often we see women that are like action star heroes, or you see the mom, but you don't a lot of times, at least that I can think of, see a blending of those two
Right.
things. So I thought that was really cool in the way that RH and Micheline had like written that character. And Micheline had also said she was like, it's the mom from Gremlins. I was like, okay, got it. I can do that. And because that, I mean, other than like her, there's not a whole lot of depictions of that, of like the nice nurturing mom that could also, lift a car to save their kid when
Right.
they need
Right.
to.
So in this particular role for you, well, actually, let me back up. So, in your recent films, you've been a mom twice, that of the movies that I've seen. So we
Mhm,
have Nancy in VHS Halloween Home Haunt,
mhm,
and then we have your role in Garden of Eden.
mhm.
My question is, get ready for this.
Uh-oh.
What? which mom would you rather be? A mom with a dead kid or a mom with a dead kid and neighbors?
Oh, I think of those two, I would rather be Nancy because she's coping a lot better.
Yeah, I
The
would think so too.
Yeah. So Patricia in Garden of Eden is really having a rough
She's
time.
having a time. She's having a
Yeah.
time.
It's she's not dealing so well, with the loss of her kid, which I mean, understandable, can't imagine. So if I had to be one, I would in my own life prefer to be fighting monsters rather than fighting the internal struggle
Yeah.
of grief.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer.
That's
So let's talk a little bit about behind the scenes stuff. Um, VHS Halloween, as we spoke about earlier, is a really, really nice combination of you have laughs, you have scares, you have these gross out moments with heads exploding and things like that. What was the atmosphere like on set? Was it kind of the same? Was it like everyone's joking around, but then like people are pranking each other? Like how was the set?
we didn't have time to prank each other. Um, no, I think the set the mood on set was very professional, very fun, and I think Micheline and RH are such wonderful collaborators. They really foster an environment of creativity, and they really want to hear from people and have everyone's input. But at the same time, it was so ambitious, and it was shot in 5 days, and
Oh my
that
gosh.
that was it. That's all you have. And not to mention that like some of those sets, like we did the witch's bog one day, and then the next day we're in the crypt. And while we're then in the crypt, they're tearing down the witch's bog to rebuild it as the cemetery. So it's gone. So whatever you filmed on that day in the bog is what you get. You're not going to
Yeah.
rebuild the
Oh,
set.
wow.
So I think there was a good amount of uh, tension, but not like fighting tension, but just
Yeah.
like we gotta move and get this, going in order to make our day and to get everything that everyone wanted, since there was so much that was being packed into this like 5 day shoot.
My gosh. Um, I so I knew that you were going to be in this movie, and I'm watching the movie, I'm waiting, I'm like, where's Sarah? Where's Sarah? And finally, I see you in Home Hunt, and I'm like, yay, Sarah's there. And then I saw Rick Baker, and I'm like, wow, Rick Baker's here too.
Yeah.
I love when that happens. I love when you recognize people and you're like, hey, I know that guy. How did that come about? Did you know Rick Baker was going to be there too?
I did know ahead of time that he was going to be there. So Rick is friends with RH and Micheline.
Okay.
And so he is actually one of the things that inspired them for this episode, because he does an extravagant, amazing home haunt,
I wouldn't
essentially.
expect anything less, honestly.
Exactly. And so Micheline and RH were at that one year, and they were like, well, what would happen if he just like accidentally killed the entire neighborhood? And so that was kind of like the impetus of the idea for, this project. And so since he was the inspiration for it, they were like, well, maybe we could get him to be in it too. And I think he did a wonderful job.
He
He's
did. He did.
hilarious. He steals the show. He could absolutely have a whole second career of it as an actor if he wanted to. But I don't think he'd ever want to be caught dead in that polo shirt.
Yeah.
Ever again.
I just love that. I think last night I was watching some movie and I was like, hey, that's Tom Savini in there. It's just fun when I see people who are usually behind the scenes on screen.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's really fun. found footage is tricky because
Yeah.
there's always some sort of, you have to have a certain level of realism in it, or else no one's going to
Mhm.
believe it. Even in movies like VHS Halloween, where obviously things are not like this is not real, there has to be some level of no, this is real. So, my question to you is, how did you get in that headspace as opposed to like working on other roles where it's purely like this is not found footage? Is there a difference? Do you do anything different? Tell me about it.
I think what really helped with this was to ground it was a lot of the like flashback stuff that happened before, the haunt came alive. That is like the family dynamic. And I think really focusing on that family dynamic for me. And that was the majority of my research and like my preparation that I was doing is like what is our relationship? And I mean I created a whole backstory of how Keith
What's
and
my
I met.
motivation?
Yeah, like I'm like I know how we met. I know what our first date was. I know what our first haunt was. I know my kid's first costume that I made. And so like doing all of that sort of like background research made the relationships very real to me. And I feel like that's really what grounded it. So as we're going through all this like fantastical stuff, but when it comes to like reacting to any of like the horrors that are happening, I mean that's pretty much the same on any horror film because you got to make believe that this guy's gonna kill you when he's really not
Right.
gonna kill you, or that this is a real witch even though it's not a real
That
witch.
that's a fair point.
So.
So last question. Anthology films, which VHS Halloween is, they give audiences variety. If you could pick any out of any of the VHSs, if you could pick one segment to be in, what would it be? And we're not
Ooh.
going to say home haunt because that doesn't count because you're
Yeah,
already in it.
yeah,
That doesn't
yeah.
count. From any VHSs.
That's also a crazy question. Let's see. I I think it's because I watched it somewhat recently, but the one that keeps sticking in my head is that the skydiving one from
Yeah.
VHS Beyond. And I've been skydiving. I like skydiving. It's fun. So I think that would have been a blast to shoot
Yeah.
to get to go like skydiving for free or even being paid to go skydive. So I think that would be my answer for that one.
Do you think they really skydove or do you think they like did that in post somehow? Do you
I
know?
I don't know actually. I don't
Huh.
know. I mean, there are a lot of like airplane sets, so they could have done like an airplane set and then maybe like wind tunnels or something potentially.
Maybe.
I like to think that they actually went skydiving.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? We'll just
That would
make
be
that up right now, guys. You heard
yeah.
it here. They actually did it.
We'll say it is so, and
Let's say it is
then
so.
it will be true.
Is there anything else you want to say about VHS Halloween?
I hope people like it, go watch it, enjoy it. I will say Home Haunt is the last one in the sequence. So if you're, listening to this and then going to watch it, so it is the last one in there. And everyone really put their heart and soul into the whole thing. So I really hope that people take out of it, that feeling and love of Halloween and that it really becomes, annual viewing for all of us.
Oh, for me, it will be for sure. I'm
Yay.
trying to wait until it actually comes out on Shudder to watch it again, so I can
Yeah.
watch it on my big TV instead of a computer screen. But
Hmm.
man, I cannot wait. This is gonna be so fun. I've
It's
been
also it's a
waiting.
great like with a bunch of friends like group movie because the first time I saw it was the premiere at Fantastic Fest and that was like a smaller crowd because those theaters are smaller and then we saw it a couple nights ago at Beyond Fest for the LA premiere with like a big group of people and that second viewing with a whole bunch of horror friends and like a lot of people was just so fun, like so fun. So I would definitely recommend have some friends come over, have some drinks, have some popcorn, break
Have
out some
some
Halloween
Diet
candy.
Phantasma.
Diet Phantasma, exactly. Yeah, and watch it with your friends because there's a lot of those like, interactive moments that you're gonna want to have.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. A huge thank you to Sarah for coming back to talk to me about VHS Halloween. It's streaming right now on Shudder, so make sure to go watch it. You will not regret it. It is so good. It's so good. And until next time, I'm Celia from Let's Talk Terror. Keep watching horror, stay spooky, and I'll catch you in the next nightmare.